Bro, a while ago, I had one of those days where nothing seemed to go right. It had been a long day. I was exhausted. I just wanted to get home, have a shower, get into bed, and forget about everything. I'd actually been doing well. I'd stayed away from porn for a while, and I was grateful for that. But just as I was about to turn into my lane, I couldn't. The entire road had been dug up. No warning, no way through. Just barricades and construction work everywhere. And if you've ever lived somewhere where projects seem to drag on forever, you know how frustrating that can be. I remember thinking, how can they completely block a residential road like this? What if someone had a medical emergency? What if an ambulance needed to get through? The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. Eventually, I got into a heated argument with one of the workers. Looking back, he probably wasn't even the right person to be angry with. He was just doing his job. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking clearly. I finally got home, still angry, still frustrated, still replaying the argument over and over in my mind. And then something happened that I didn't expect. My mind quietly started leading me somewhere else. Not back to the argument, not back to the road, but toward porn, toward escape. And that night, I broke my streak. For years, I would have told myself, I relapsed because I was tempted. But that's not actually what happened. I didn't come home craving porn. I came home carrying anger. I came home emotionally exhausted. Porn wasn't what I wanted. Relief was. And I think that's one of the biggest lies I've believed for years. I thought porn was the enemy, but maybe porn was never the enemy. Maybe it was just the place I kept running whenever life became too heavy to carry. Think about your own life. When are you usually tempted? Is it when you're full of joy? When you're at peace? When everything is going well? Probably not. It's after the argument, after the rejection, after the stressful day at work, after the disappointment, after the loneliness, after you feel like you've failed. That's when temptation suddenly becomes louder. Not because you suddenly love porn, but because your heart is looking for somewhere to rest, somewhere to escape. And over time, our brains become incredibly good at making that connection. Pain equals porn. Stress equals porn. Loneliness equals porn. Shame equals porn. Until eventually, we stop seeing porn as a sinful choice and start treating it like emotional pain relief. That's why I don't think porn is the deepest enemy anymore. I think it's a symptom that something inside us is hurting. Maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's fear, maybe it's shame, maybe it's disappointment, maybe it's years of believing you're not enough. Porn didn't create those wounds. It simply became the place we learned to hide from them. And if all I do is remove porn without learning how to bring those wounds to God, I'll probably replace it with something else. Scrolling, food, gaming, work. Anything that helps me avoid sitting with what's really going on inside. Maybe you're married. You genuinely love your wife. You'd do anything for your family. But after a stressful day, or an argument, or financial pressure, late at night, your mind still drifts toward porn. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't love your wife. It might mean you've trained your brain for years to look for relief in the wrong place. Understanding that doesn't excuse the sin, but it does change how we fight it. Because now the question isn't only, how do I stop watching porn? The question becomes, what am I trying to escape right now? That question has changed everything for me, because every temptation is now an invitation to be honest. Not just about my behavior, but about my heart. Bro, I still believe we should run from temptation. I still believe we should pursue holiness. But I don't think lasting freedom begins by only fighting the symptom. It begins when we stop running from our pain and start bringing it to God. Because maybe porn was never the enemy. It was just pointing us toward the place where we needed God the most.